What's up YouTube, it's your boy Barcode. I'm back with another video. Today is something a little different. A new game I'm playing right now is Awaken Chaos Era. And this video will be about top 10 free-to-play elites only that you should not sleep on. I'm going to talk about one that's going to be a no-brainer, and I'm going to talk about 3 from each element. Our elites are the best way for free-to-play to progress easy because you can easily ascend them, you can easily max out their abilities early in the game. If you're new to the channel, I'm completely free-to-play content creator, and if you like this content, make sure to hit that sub button, hit the like button, and hit that bell dingy thing below so you know when I post a video. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the no-brainer, shall we? Starter character, our boy Zackary. He's by far the best free-to-play AoE farmer that you can easily ascend and max out his skills. His ultimate is on a 4-turn cooldown. The less enemies there are, the more damage it does. But when you get decent gear, he hits pretty hard. His second skill does more damage when it's below 50% health on the enemy. His first skill is just a single target attack that gives him attack up. But the gimmick to Zackary and why he's so good is his passive. Anytime you kill an enemy, he does a whole nother AoE attack on all enemies. If his first AoE ultimate doesn't kill everybody, you can literally watch it go on and on until they're all dead. Now that we got the no-brainer out of the way, everybody should know about our boy Connor as well. He's our support character. All his skills are based off attack, which is nice because once you get good gear, his single target attack can actually hit pretty hard. But his third skill heals the whole team. The heal's based off of attack. His second skill, which is a skill he prioritizes early in the match, if none of your team has any damage done to you, will grant a team-wide shield and attack up on your team, which is also based on Connor's attack power. His single target ability has a chance to apply defense down, which is great. And if you speed tune this character to your offense, your damage heroes are going to hit hard, and they'll have a shield afterwards. My third fire hero on the list is Marion. I'm just going to call her Maria. She is your queen on manual. Now this is a gacha, this is a farming game. There is an auto feature, but for those hard things that you need the manual, she's a beast. Her ultimate third skill will heal the lowest ally on your team for 100% of the damage that you do. This is also on a 3-turn cooldown on a max skill ability. Her first skill also applies defense down. And this is a 100% chance before accuracy and resistance, obviously. A lot of the other skills in this game, there's a certain percentage that you can land it, but this is a 100% chance before accuracy and resistance. But the main thing that makes her shine is her second skill. Bitter Redemption. It protects an ally for 2 turns during which any damage or healing received by the protected ally is delayed until the end of their turn. Once you have this buff up and are pretty much invincible, the damage that comes in is reduced by 50%, while the healing and any lifesteal effects are increased by 150%. This is a huge stall, and this is going to work really good for places like the high-level void towers. Let's get into the water monsters. First and foremost, Joseph. Joseph can be used to synthesize as well. So if for some reason you don't need him in the future, you can use them as a synthesis to get a better monster. However, don't sleep on Joseph. He is amazing in the Ash dungeon. Not only does his third ultimate skill give attack up and defense up for 3 turns maxed out. Name someone else that can do that that's free to play. But he also can remove all negative effects from an ally and grant that target a bonus turn. So when the Ash dungeon applies a bomb on your character, which is the only debuff in that dungeon, by the way, Joseph automatically waits for an ally to get a debuff. Then he will use this skill and cleanse that bomb, and that person obviously gets another turn. Typically, the bomb is placed on the highest attack damage dealer anyway on your team, from what I've noticed. So that's huge in regards of doing damage as well. His first skill, which is also a single target damage dealing skill, applies speed up on your highest attack ally. An amazing booster, cleanser, and support for your team. If you want to maximize the safety net that you bring in certain elemental dungeons, then Abbot is your healer to go to, especially against a fire boss. Not only is he a healer, but he can grant an extra turn, apply immunity to debuffs, and all of his heals are based off his max HP. So he's a very tanky healer. He heals and apply a shield to a single target, so it's not a team heal. But if you're not dealing with a ton of AoE damage, then he can definitely be worth it. If you're going all in on Connor, you may not need him, but this is just a secondary option. Last on the water list is Boopbug. Some of these names are really weird. Anyways, this guy is really good against the guild bosses that you have to fight, especially the fire one. The guild bosses have a lot of defense. Continuous damage doesn't work very well on them. However, bleeds are very good. And this is the man who's out for blood. Passive on every attack can apply a bleed. His main skill can apply a bleed. His second skill can apply 3 bleeds if you're lucky. And his ultimate deals 200% damage to the enemy, and it scales with the number of bleeding effects on the target. Don't sleep on this man, especially for guild boss. Now on the Forest. Feya. What makes her really good is 1, she has a heal block and applies a no positive effects debuff. The damage is also 200%. This also has the ability, because of her passive, to apply a defense down, and that's any attack that she has. Her second skill adds an attack with her, and it's a joint attack, and that could be really good depending on who you're playing with. If you're using poison comps, if you're using Zackary to get a kill so he can do more AoE damage, the list goes on. And her first skill is actually really good because it actually has 2 chances to apply the defense break and another chance to apply speed down. Speed down, I feel like, is a very underrated debuff. It's really good against boss stages. Second is the man Vidar. Anyway, this is your shutdown man. If you don't want a monster or an enemy or a hero or whatever to use their skill, his ultimate will taunt for 3 turns. It also does 260% damage, which if you get good gear on him can be huge. So you can taunt whoever and they will have to hit you with a single target attack for 3 turns. And then you apply a defense up to yourself and a dodge up to yourself. And his single target attack can apply crit rate down for 2 turns. This literally can shut down any enemy. And my favorite forest monster on this list is Baluk. I currently run a poison team, and this guy is a staple to any poison team. He's your tank. Whenever he's hit, he automatically counterattacks and applies accuracy down. His counterattack, which is his single target skill, applies a poison. And whenever an enemy attacks one of your allies on your team, there's a chance that he's going to apply a poison to that attacker. His third skill is decent. It does AoE damage, and the more poison effects they have, the more damage he does. But when I use him, at the bottom right, I turn his skills off. So the only thing he does is single target attack the enemy. So this will apply poisons and poisons nonstop. And then I follow that up with my other poison monsters, sustain my team, and you can literally do 30% of the boss's health every single turn. Alright, so that's 9 monsters, 3 fire, 3 forest, 3 water. I'm going to talk about one more, and that's Raven. She's your dark monster, and if you're using a poison team, I highly recommend her. Her ultimate deals 120% damage, plus 50% bonus damage for every negative effect on the enemy. And when I have 10 poisons up on the boss, it's fireworks. Her second skill does damage and makes her go stealth for 2 turns. And what makes that important is because her passive, when she's in stealth, the attacks ignore 30% of the enemy's defense. Not only that, but her single target ability can apply poison for 3 turns, and this also reduces the cooldown of her second skill, which turns her into stealth, so she can ignore more defense on that ultimate. So I hope you enjoyed these 10 monsters. Obviously, this all depends on what type of player you are. If you're free to play, these monsters will definitely benefit you. There's some that you want to build before others. This was not like a chronological list of who I would pick. This is just 10 monsters that you shouldn't sleep on. It may also depend on who you build, depending on what legendary you get. But I guarantee you, after you 6-star your legendary and 6-star these monsters, you're going to be able to fully ascend these monsters, fully skill up their abilities, much faster than you ever would any legendary or epic monster. There's also monsters in the synthesis, specific epic ones. As free to play, you can max out, but I'll get to that in a different video. If you like this content, you know what to do. Sub, like, ding bell. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.